Hello, world. Welcome to episode 155 of the Jimmy Canz Show, Classic Supercard Retrospective. We are looking back at WCW SuperBrawl 2. Let's talk about it. All right, so obviously it was a WCW promoted event held February 29th, 1992, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, at the Milwaukee Auditorium. 5,000 in attendance, a sellout, positive sign. Um, Aired live on pay-per-view, later released on VHS, courtesy of Turner Home Entertainment. 8-match card, 4 title matches, Action Cult, Jim Ross, and Jesse the Body Ventura. Yes, the Body has now debuted in WCW. He actually debuted the previous Clash, so he's been out of the wrestling world for a little while. But let's get into this one, shall we? Let's. Our opening contest was a great way to start the show. It was for the WCW Light Heavyweight Championship. Uh, Challenger, former champion, Flying Brian Pillman, taking on current champion from the land of the rising sun, Jushin Thunder Liger. Um, Now, this was a match that would not be out of place on a wrestling card today, but in 1992, this was not what the U.S. audience was used to seeing, but they ate it up. It was a great match, back and forth, false finishes, chain wrestling, aerial maneuvers, just a fantastic, fantastic matchup. Really a sign of the future on what was capable, what this form of entertainment was capable of delivering. Uh, Pillman ends up getting the win with a very unique roll up, something again the U.S. audiences weren't used to seeing, where he double underhooks the arms with his feet and kind of spins around and back bridges. It was a unique pinning combination in 1992. So your winner, and once again, light heavyweight champion, Flying Brian Pillman. Next up on the card was the youngster Marcus Alexander Bagwell taking on the tailor-made man Terry Taylor, who can't seem to find a gimmick. He went from the computerized man of the '90s to and then he went to Terrence Taylor with the York Foundation, and now he's the tailor-made man. So yeah, whatever. But well, this was a good match, especially with Bagwell being as young and green as he was at this time. He does get the win here, Bagwell. The finish was kind of botched a little bit, um, but you know, all in all, still a pretty solid match. Interesting side note on this: at this point in time, Taylor was actually the co-holder of the United States Tag Team Championships. Um, and it's not really brought up. He doesn't come out with the belt, so I just kind of found that a little interesting. Kind of shows you, I think, that maybe WCW is looking to do away with that. Actually, so in the not too distant future. So I guess this was like a little bit of a foreshadowing there. So after this, we have another singles matchup. The All-American Ron Simmons taking on Cactus Jack. Before the contest starts off, they show JYD out in the crowd. A little foreshadowing there. So let's go here. Jack and Abdullah, kind of had their falling out in December, and the situation escalated at the last Clash. Uh, but then, Simmons ends up getting the win here. But then after he gets the win, Abdullah and Jack seem to all of a sudden be on the same page again, and they start beating down Ron Simmons. JYD then comes out of the crowd to come in and assist Simmons and chase the heels away. So don't know exactly what the rationale was here. Like I said, it was very sudden, very kind of weird. You started to build up this Abdullah Jack feud, and then all of a sudden you just boom 180 with no real rhyme, reason, or explanation. So yeah. Anyway, Simmons gets the win. After this matchup, we have not one, not two, but we have three consecutive tag team matches. Uh, we have the oddball tandems here in this first one of Heavy Metal Van Hammer and the Z-Man taking on Vinny Vegas and Richard Morton. Um, Absolutely pointless matchup here, especially considering Vegas just debuted recently at the previous Clash, taking on Thomas Rich, who's who Morton is was aligned with in the York Foundation, and now Morton's teaming with him, so it's kind of weird there. Um, you know, In ring work was really pretty solid through this one. I mean, not too surprising with Morton and Zink involved in the matchup, uh, but um, you know, it was just kind of weird. Z-Man and Hammer get the win. All in all, I had to say Morton's heel run just it's not hitting, it's not working. He hasn't really changed up anything about his gimmick, especially now that the York Foundation has kind of disbanded and everything. There's nothing that changed in his presentation or his wrestling style. So I just don't understand it, other than the fact that he goes by Richard instead of Ricky now. Uh, After this one, like I said, we have another tag team contest. This one, Barry Windham teaming once again with the Natural Dustin Rose to face the Dangerous Alliance members of the Cruncher, Larry Zbyszko, and the World Television Champion, Stunning Steve Austin. They have Medusa in their corner. They kind of are promoting this one as redemption for Windham against Zbyszko. I don't understand that one because Windham was involved in a six-man at the previous Clash of Champions that also involves Zbyszko. Windham got the win in that one, and Windham and Rhodes get the win in this one. So, I mean, how much redemption do you need? But anyway, there was that one. And next we have yet another tag team contest. This one for the WCW World Tag Team titles. The Dangerous Alliance members, the champions, beautiful Bobby Eaton, the Enforcer, Double A Arn Anderson, defending against Rick and Scott, the Steiner brothers. Kind of we're 1 year removed from the first SuperBrawl in which Eaton faced Anderson for the television title, and now we're 12 months further on, and now they're tag team partners and tag team champions. So it just shows you how things change in the wacky, wonderful world of professional wrestling. This one ends up getting kind of the dusty finish, where it looks like the Steiners win the matchup, but they are decision is somewhat reversed, and they are disqualified. So Eaton and Anderson end up retaining, even though the visual pin appeared to be at the hands of the Steiners. So yeah, get the proverbial dusty finish. Where what I think what happened, if I'm remembering correctly, is Rick was blinded by powder. And the fact that he couldn't see, he grabs the first human being that kind of crosses his path. That happened to be the referee, so he ends up suplexing the referee. And then, another referee comes out. The Steiners get the pinfall, and that second referee counts the three. But then the first referee comes to and says, "Oh, no way, they're disqualified. He put his hands on me. So, yeah, dusty finish. Um, United States Championship on the line next. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat challenging the champion, Ravishing Rick Rude. Uh, Another, third match in a row also involving the Dangerous Alliance. Uh, Heyman, or Paulie Dangerously, I should say, barred from ringside here. Uh, Steamboat has the Masked Ninja in his corner. Rude has Medusa out in his. Um, Underhanded tactics here allow the Ravishing One to retain, as the Ninja ends up actually being dangerously uh, guys, helping assist Rude to get the W in this one. So, and this takes us to the main event of the evening. Our Battle Bowl winner, Sting, now challenging the Total Package Lex Luger for the WCW World Title. Luger still managed by Harley Race. Um, Out of this one here, I mean, the outcome isn't really all that big of a shock when you know what was going on behind the scenes at this point in time. Um, One, Lex wasn't really drawing as champion. He was very disgruntled at this point, and it showed in his in-ring performance, lack of motivation. Uh, Sting ends up defeating him to win the world title, and Luger actually ends up departing the company pretty much after this matchup. So your winner and new WCW World Champion, the Stinger. So, what can we say about this one? You know, all in all, it was one of WCW's better shows in terms. Ring work's always usually there. I mean, you do have a couple of clunkers every now and then from WCW, but for the most part, uh, their competitors could go um, 3 straight tag matches and no TV title defense. Um, didn't make a lot of sense. Uh, no mention of the U.S. tag titles at all. Uh, your dusty finish in the world tag title, not clean U.S. title finish. Luger's mail-in performance in that world title bout kind of did hurt a little bit, but all in all, it was a pretty solid show. The one thing I don't understand, like I said, with the Zabisco Wyndham thing too, like I said, why you had another tag match there. I mean, if you really were trying to have Wyndham get uh, the the his final revenge against Zabisco, why not have that be a singles match? But if turn around and put Austin uh, out there and defend the TV title, maybe against a young up and coming Rhodes, maybe even against a young Bagwell for crying out loud at this point, rather than having Bagwell out there with Taylor, having that other tag, or eliminating the Zinc, Van Hammer, Vegas Morton match. Like I said, didn't make a whole lot of sense. Would have much rather seen a television title defense on the show than that. Or if you wanted to have another tag match there, like I said, you uh, the Bagwell out there with Austin, and then put Taylor, uh, you know, in a U.S. tag match at that point in time, and then you get 2 more title matches on your show. So, in terms of a ranking before I get into ranking, Hall of Fame involvement, like I said, there was a lot, 18 uh, WWE Hall of Famers involved in the show, from Race, JYD, Steamboat, Austin, Abby, uh, Double A, Wyndham, Simmons, Foley, Zbyszko, Medusa, Nash, Sting, Rude, Morton, Liger, uh, both Rick and Scott Steiner. The number goes up even higher when you factor in, the non-in-ring competitors, in the fact that you had Ross and Ventura on commentary and Bischoff doing interviews throughout the show. So, yeah, pretty stacked in terms of legendary talent. For a rating, it was a good show. Wasn't perfect. Um, my 10 belt scale, I will give SuperBrawl 2. Uh, yeah, this was a solid 8. There were a few misses, like I said, the dusty finish and everything, but the ring quality was good. Stories, for the most part, were pretty solid. Um, where there were stories, I thought they were told pretty well. Like I said, you had a couple of those tag matches that didn't have any real story. The Taylor Bagwell didn't have any real story, so some misses there, which things a little bit, but the quality of the matches was pretty solid. So one of WCW's better shows, much needed after the debacle that the last Clash was, which was just an awful, awful show. So positive signs here. Now Sting has the title. So we'll see what direction where this thing goes as we move further through 1992. So our next retrospective will third WCW show in a row uh, at the Japan Super Show 2. So circle back and see us then. Wherever you are, hope you're doing well. Take care of one another, and I will see you all when I see you.